following excerpt is from a correspondence Henry addressed to Robert.
Don't just fall into the fancy word du jour like a conspiracy theorist.
Projecting. This is what Republicans do.
We see it all the time in politics and in the media, and it makes for very interesting and entertaining battles. Because we see it all the time, many people think that an ad hominem attack is perfectly valid and reasonable and don't see anything wrong with doing it.
You're full of shit.
That's fucking wacko. Like, life is way too short for that. You've got to get out of that relationship.
You mean it is not yours. I can't imagine.
This is a Republican. This is what we have.
You even touch that. It is not yours.
However, when you engage in ad hominem, you're actually not making any real sense. This is why people who understand logic and reason call ad hominem a logical fallacy or faulty reasoning.
You're full of shit.
That's fucking wacko.
No one is trying to gaslight you. Don't just fall into the fancy word du jour like a conspiracy theorist.
Projecting. This is what Republicans do.
When you engage in ad hominem, you're basically admitting you don't know what you're talking about, or that your argument has no real merit. Rather than concede or give up, usually out of spite or malice, you instead just start calling the other person names.
You're full of shit. Liar, liar, liar.
What are the important rules for conflict resolution in all relationships, but especially for highly sensitive people? And I highly recommend that sensitive people lay out these rules with their partner before an argument so that there's no accusation at the time, and that if you both agreed to these, then you just say, we just slipped. No accusation, just back to the rules. And there are 3 simple rules, really. One of them is that you don't call each other's names or diagnose each other. And that's like, oh, you're so OCD, or you're just lazy, or you're just like your mother, those kinds of terms. You're even things like you're always depressed. I think you have a depressive problem with depression. You know, those kind of general terms we don't use. Definitely not name calling.
It's so illogical.
Liar, liar, liar. You're full of shit.
Don't just fall into the fancy word du jour like a conspiracy theorist.
You're gaslighting and projecting. This is what Republicans do.
You know what gaslighting is? Are you a fucking Trump supporter?
How is that my fault if it's not
Why
your...
don't you call it out? Go call an Escalina, somebody with a brain.
Then the second one is staying on the subject. It's so easy to go from you, who's going to do the dishes tonight, to you never do your share.
They bring meaningless points and drag you into a constant debate that you get so sucked up with the argument and you don't face the main issue at hand.
Get up now. Fine. If you can do both, that's fine. You know what the fuck gaslighting is? Yes, I do know what gaslighting is. Are you a fucking Trump supporter? It has nothing to do with Trump supporter. It's a middle effective issue. Liar.
Another deflecting tactic to use is they'll go into the mocking and ridiculing style of communication. They want to neutralize you and anything that you have to say with sarcasm and caustic comments. They may give you the eye roll or speak in a sneering or a haughty kind of way.
You call it out. Go call an Escalina, somebody with a brain. You call it out. Go call an Escalina, somebody with a brain.
Mark, what do you think gaslighting is?
Irrelevant to the case.
Yes, exactly.
They may say something like, oh, so let's hear what your highness has to say now. I'm sure it's very important.
About being right, don't you?
No, I just want to get this straight.
No, you just want to get it right. So congratulations, Billy, you win. You're right. Everyone give Billy a fucking round of applause.
Mark, will you please, this is the crux of the argument. A larger agreement versus a lease. which we've discussed numerous times. We have to obviously reiterate it.
So look, upward inflection is used across cultures around dominance, for either distributing dominance. You can use it to create a questioning tone because you don't want to assert. You can even use it assertively to go, hey, I bet you've got a question around that because you're not as intelligent as I am.
Because they think somebody's watching them, because they don't want people to know where they go or something like that.
Upward inflection is used across cultures around dominance, for either distributing dominance. You can use it to create a questioning tone because you don't want to assert. You can even use it assertively to go, hey, I bet you've got a question around that because you're not as intelligent as I am.
This is the crux of the argument. A larger agreement versus a lease, which we've discussed numerous times. We have to obviously reiterate it.
You call it out. Go call an Esquina, somebody with a brain. Because they think somebody's watching them, because they don't want people to know where they go or something like that.
Please. Mark, what do you think gaslighting is?
Irrelevant to the case.
Yes, exactly.
You seem to get pleasure out of it.
Yes.